Angel Reese. She might have tapped out, y'all. Angel Reese may have tapped out and quit on the Chicago Sky. Everybody is speculating. What is this back injury? What's going on? Hey, are you trying to pretend like you hurt because Caitlin Clark really is hurt? Wait. What's going on? What's going on?
Angel Reese may be avoiding more than just a back injury. Could it be she's dodging responsibility? 3 losses in 3 weeks, each by a significant margin. The Chicago Sky have looked more like an amateur team than a professional one. Since June, they've been spiraling with no answers, no adjustments, and no sense of urgency. But whenever fans inquire about what's going on, all they get is the same vague response. Day to day. No medical updates, no official reports, nothing but silence. A growing sense of frustration and suspicion is building up, and it's hard not to wonder if the injury is just a cover for something more.
I think Angel Reese, and I'm saying this with my chest out, I think she's quit on the Chicago Sky. She's been claiming a back injury basically since the All-Star break. And there's no details. Every day we hear that Angel Reese is day to day. And every week there's no update on what she's struggling with, what she's doing. There's nothing. There's no information about Angel Reese. I think she's quit on this season.
Now fans are no longer buying the story. They're not just whispering. They're shouting. Angel Reese might have quit. And with every passing day, the doubts keep growing.
Opponent in the WNBA right now is Angel Reese and her dozens of aliases. Has anyone seen Bayou Barbie lately? Where in the hell is Double Double Barbie? Where is the me-bound clown? It has been weeks since I have heard anything about Angel Reese. She's becoming known as the Vanishing Barbie because no one can find.
How can you prioritize sneaker launches and Instagram promotions over your teammates, your city, and the loyal fans who are begging for a reason to believe in this season? If you want to be the face of the league, disappearing when your team needs you most is a bad look. Tell us in the comments. Do you think Angel is genuinely hurt, or is she just out for the season?
Supposedly, Angel Reese has been dealing with a back injury. That is the official reason for her mysterious absence. But there has been rampant speculation that this back injury isn't as serious as Angel Reese claims. And some believe that Angel Reese has quit on her team and quit on the season.
This whole situation reeks of inconsistency. Typically, when a pro athlete gets injured, the team is transparent about it. You hear specific terms like ankle sprain, hamstring pull, or concussion protocol. There's usually a recovery timeline, a week, maybe 2, or out until the postseason. But with Angel Reese, just the same 2 words day to day. No details, no clarity, and certainly no hint at what the injury actually is. After nearly a month of this, it's no wonder fans are questioning if she's really hurt or if the Sky are just covering for her.
Look, bro, you got to remember, she quit in Unrivaled. She just stopped playing in Unrivaled. Said she was hurt. Didn't show up for the championship game. Didn't even show up and watch. Last season, she claimed her wrist was messed up. Didn't finish playing in none of the games. Now, this year, she's saying this season, it's her back. It looked like she's not finishing playing in none of the games. The Sky needs you. The Chicago Sky, you guys are the gum on the bottom of the shoe of the league. They need Angel Reese to play in games. Angel, where you at? Where are you at, Angel? This is not.
Compare that to the Indiana Fever. When Caitlin Clark tweaks something, the team immediately informs fans exactly what's hurt, how serious it is, and when she might return. That's transparency. That's respect for fans. You don't leave them in the dark. Transparency builds trust, and trust is something the Sky are losing by keeping Reese's absence a mystery. Clip 6. Chicago's secrecy isn't calming fans. It's creating chaos. Every week of silence only makes things look worse. And the numbers don't lie. In the past 3 weeks, Reese has played just 3 games. A day-to-day injury should mean she's close to returning, not missing 80% of the schedule. This looks more like an indefinite absence, no matter how the Sky try to spin it. When a team hides a truth, fans start to make up their own theories. and they're usually harsher than the truth.
For weeks, Angel Reese has played 3 games. I'm no expert in math, but that appears to be less than 1 game a week. Unsurprisingly, all 3 games Angel Reese played in, the Chicago Bravado lost by an average of 18 points. Translation, they got their ass kicked.
This is when things get messy. Some fans suspect it's not just about basketball. Maybe the Sky are covering for her, or maybe Reese doesn't want the real reason for her absence to come out. The coach hasn't helped either, repeating the same day-to-day excuse like a broken record. Even ESPN is suggesting she might be done for the season. And when you compare that narrative to the team's official stance, it looks like the Sky and Reese are trying to play games with their own supporters.
Declined to travel to Indianapolis, and her coach came out and said something about, she's just focused on her rehab right now, and, she's day to day. We've never had an explanation on what caused the back injury, what's a time frame for her recovery. It's similar to so-and-so's back injury. This is something she struggled with here or there. All we've heard is day-to-day, and Angel Reese has disappeared.
Here's the question every fan is asking. Is Angel Reese dealing with a serious injury, or is she just strategically unavailable? Because at this point, day-to-day sounds less like a medical update and more like a way to say, don't expect her anytime soon. The longer this drags on, the worse it looks. Timing is crucial in sports, and right now, it feels like she's avoiding responsibility.
Everybody is ablaze right now. Everybody's wondering, what is really going on with Angel Reese? Has she just flat out quit again? Has she quit on the Chicago Sky? Angel, you have to have some level of self-awareness here.
Think about it. Reese plays 3 games, all losses by an average of 18 points. Then, out of nowhere, she's gone. Fans can't stop pointing this out. If you're going to miss time, it usually happens after a standout performance or freak accident. But when your team is still getting destroyed every game, and then you disappear, it looks like an escape hatch.
She identified once they lost Vandersloot, their point guard, early in the year, and once they started getting their brains beat in, hey, we're not going to win anything this year. I'm not putting these L's on my resume. I'm going to have an excuse for the Chicago Sky potentially coming in with the worst or second worst record in the WNBA. These losses will not.
The truth is, the Chicago Sky are sitting at a miserable 8-24 record. They were mathematically eliminated from playoff contention back in June. Brutal doesn't even begin to describe it. For Reese to step away right now doesn't look like leadership. It looks like she's protecting her brand rather than fighting through the storm with her teammates.
I think Angel Reese has quit on the season. The Bravado are 8-24. They were essentially eliminated from the playoffs back in June. I'm sure Angel Reese believes that there's no reason for her to play, but I think it could be a bit deeper than that too.
You can't ignore the optics. The Sky are sinking. The season's already over, and the losses just keep piling up. Every game Reese misses makes it easier to believe she doesn't want to be associated with the collapse. Fans are even suggesting she's avoiding being remembered as part of one of the worst teams in the league. Instead, she sits out, slaps the day-to-day label on herself, and makes sure her name isn't attached to those ugly box scores. But here's where that theory cracks. When she did play, nothing changed. The team still got blown out, still looked lost, still stumbled to the final buzzer. If she truly wanted to prove her value, staying on the floor during the collapse was her chance to rise above it all. Instead, her absence only strengthens the argument that she didn't want to be part of the wreckage.
I'm wondering if Angel Reese is in no rush to return because she doesn't want to be blamed for declining mainstream interest in the WNBA. We've been talking about this the past couple of weeks. What are the biggest storylines right now in the WNBA? Outside of AA batteries flying on the court, gift wrapped in plastic wiener, what is there to talk about? Since Caitlin Clark has been injured, which has damn near been the entire season, but mainly since the All-Star break, there has been minimal mainstream interest in pretend basketball.
From another perspective, maybe Angel Reese doesn't even want to play right now because the WNBA itself is struggling. Ratings are slipping, and the buzz that once seemed unstoppable has cooled. By stepping away, Reese can avoid any of the blame. Her absence keeps the narrative centered on her brand and off her performance. For someone so carefully crafting an image, this seems like the perfect escape hatch.
Last weekend, the Indiana Felines played the Chicago Bravado in prime time on ABC. They drew 1.3 million viewers. It was the least watched game between these two teams since Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese entered the league. Guess who would have been blamed for these ratings if she was playing last weekend? Angel Reese. Guess who would be blamed for the declining mainstream interest the last few weeks if she was on the court? Angel Reese.
Look at her actions. While sidelined, Reese still managed to go to Indiana, not to suit up for her team, not to face off against Caitlin Clark, but to promote her Reebok sneakers. She even had the audacity to claim she was going to take over Clark's Trap, a stunt stage right in Clark's hometown. Weeks later, she's all over social media hyping her Reebok release like it's the next big thing. But when it came time to actually play against the Fever, she was nowhere to be found.
The only reason Angel Reese agreed to play against Washington is because her grandmother was in attendance, and it was the first time Grandma would see her granddaughter clap back at the haters in the WNBA dunk.
This decision exposes where her priorities truly lie. You can't sell yourself as a face of the league if you're skipping games that fans are buying tickets to see. It gets even worse when you realize she miraculously returned to the lineup only when her grandmother was in the stands. Funny how the back suddenly healed just in time for a family photo op.
What is the back injury? Everybody's questioning it now. And this will be a third straight season where Angel Reese did not finish playing in games, where she just stopped. She just stopped. Some of these injuries, we saw the injuries. We didn't see what happened. What happened? This is bad.
The irony couldn't be clearer. Reese shows up for sneaker launches, photo ops, and family appearances, but not for a struggling team in the middle of a brutal season. That disconnect between branding and basketball effort is why fans keep returning to the same conclusion. Angel Reese seems more committed to her image than to helping rescue the Chicago Sky. And when you compare that to Caitlin Clark's work ethic, the difference isn't subtle, it's glaring.
What they do not understand is that coaches, and I know the WNBA in some regards isn't a real sports league, and I don't know if they think like real coaches and real people in sports, but the number one ability is availability. If you're not available, you have no value.
2 stars, 2 injury situations, but only one is handling it like a professional. That's what fans keep repeating when comparing Clark to Reese. Both are supposed to be the faces of the WNBA. Both have dealt with injuries, but their approaches couldn't be more different. Clark's team is transparent. Fans know exactly what's going on with her recovery. It earns trust even when the news isn't great. With Reese, nothing but silence, and fans are growing frustrated.
Last year with the Chicago Sky, you quit. You quit. You threw in the towel. Once you realized you no longer, you never stood a chance, to be honest, with Caitlin Clark for that Rookie of the Year. But once you realized your double streak was over, and it was over. She took over post-Olympic break. Once you realized it was done, you threw in the towel, said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year. You threw in the towel and said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year and didn't play again. This past the inaugural season of Unrivaled, you didn't even finish that season. You didn't even show up for the championship. No, not only did you not play, you didn't even show up to the game at all. People noticing a pattern with you. That's 2 seasons in a row.
And here's what really stands out. Even while dealing with her own injuries, Caitlin Clark still finds ways to show up for her fans. She's courtside, signing autographs, engaging with kids, giving interviews. She makes it clear that she values the people who keep the league alive. Meanwhile, Reese is nowhere to be found. Her only appearance in Indiana was for a Reebok promo, not a Sky versus Fever game. Fans notice this, and it drives them crazy.
Yet again, the Indiana Fever face the Chicago Sky, and yet again, we whoop that. Oh boy. 92-70. It was a whole.
Perception is everything in sports right now. Caitlin Clark is seen as a dedicated fighter, pushing through injuries. Angel Reese, on the other hand, is gaining a reputation for being checked out, disinterested, or worse, someone who quit on her team. The longer she stays away, the faster that image spreads, and that's damaging not just to her, but to the league as a whole. Ratings are slipping, and when stars skip games, the league loses a momentum it so desperately needs.